like everything is ready to go. Hopefully I'll have more of you guys this time. But let's see. Does this match what I have on Canvas? Yes, it does. All right, perfect. All right, so as I said 3 minutes earlier than that, I will get stuff set up while I wait for you. All right, I should be able to see that just fine. And perfect. All right, so just once again covering any questions that you may have. Oh, there's a cat coming in. Any questions you may have regarding Edpuzzle, you have to click the link. If you do the bell work from 3-16, you will be able to have the access code right there for you. If not, your access code is GURNOPG. Babish, leave the computer alone. Yeah, you. Go. They're not G. Unless you're in my honors class, in which case you guys have a different one and I don't have it memorized, because all of you guys did your belt work on time, so you already have your stuff set up. Otherwise, you click the link for Edpuzzle. Click the link, it takes you to a video, you watch the video, watch the whole video. And then, oh, I have someone here. Who else is here with me? Oh, hello. But yeah, you watch the whole video, questions pop up throughout. And when a question pops up, you answer the question. Wow, I know. Easy, isn't it? And then as soon as you finish the whole video and answer all the questions, it tells me. It sends me a little notification saying, so-and-so just did it. And I give you credit for it. It is purely based on participation. I look at your answers, but at the same time, I just want you to get the immediate feedback from Edpuzzle to show whether or not you got something right. Whereas with the Discovery Ed stuff, you don't get immediate feedback until I make a comment on it. So this is going to help with both yesterday's assignment and Monday's assignment. So you have negative association when it goes down. You have positive association when it goes up. Always to the right and down, to the right and up. So we have negative, positive, and zero. Zero correlation is when you have a mess of dots. So for Monday's assignment, you had 3 options. And I'll pull it up for you. You have this one, what direction is it going? Up. So it's positive. So you would draw a line to positive association, because association, correlation, they mean the same thing. And then you have this one, and it's going down, which means it has a negative association. And then you have this hot mess right here, which means zero correlation, no correlation, they mean the same thing. Or association, once again, that means the same thing. Now, for the scatter plots, for question 2, you would be circling which one fits the data best for number 2. Now, I know you didn't get tricked by one of the options. You better not have it anyway. So your data set looks kind of like this. I know none of you guys would have picked the one that looked like this. Oh, excuse me, you had the opposite happening. It's a positive correlation. Probably would have helped if Miss Van Calder would have looked at it before she started drawing dots. All right, I know no one made it look like an X. That would have been foolish. But option A and option C, this is still for Monday's assignment, are very similar because they at least go in the same direction. But if we looked, if you remember from our notes from the last time we saw each other, I said when you have a line of best fit, it has to go directly in the middle, meaning you have equal amounts of dots above and below the line. So there's one that looks like that, where there's fewer dots below the line and more dots above the line. That's not our line of best fit because it's not perfectly in the middle. So option A is not our answer. Option C has equal amounts of dots above and below the line. So for number 2 on Monday's assignment, option C is what we want. And then Ms. V didn't learn anything from last stream. She still doesn't have an eraser and she's still using her hands. So now we're going option C. I'm going to blow it up really big so that I can go over here and point at some things. And I've learned from last time, I'm using this right here. All right. So we have this, and our question for question 3 says, so when temperature is at 21, it'd be about there, what is Y doing? So we'd go up to our line and see what Y is doing. So Y would be just below 500. When it's just below 500, I'd say it's about 475. We figured that out by plotting along on X until we find 21, going up to our line of best fit, and then seeing what Y is. So how I would write that in the way that I want you to write that, we're using complete sentences because we're big kids, guys. But it's only a one complete sentence. Is it a complex sentence? Yes, but it is still a complete sentence. We're going to say, based on the trend line or line of best fit, I don't care what word you use. This right here, that gives you points right there, because that tells me where you got your information from. Ice cream sales, because that's what Y is. That's what it asked me to find, is my ice cream sales. Ice cream sales are at, get that dollar sign, squeeze it in right there, $475 when, I'm going to abbreviate it to temp just to save me space, when temperature is at 21 degrees Celsius. That's my full sentence. Oh my God, my handwriting is awful. But it's one sentence. It's a complete sentence, and it has everything I'm looking for and everything that is expected when you write one of these responses. It's a complete sentence. It tells me where I got my information, tells me what I was looking at to begin with and what the actual value is when I look at the temperature at the degree that you told me to look at. Now, let's move on to yesterday's assignment. Oh, Lord. Nasty. All righty, moving on to the assignment from yesterday. I took the liberty of doing this for you. Remember how we had to draw that shape? And I said it could be an oval, it could be a box. I like the boxes more. And you cut it in half to make your line of best fit. The line of best fit is that red, purple thing right there. Doing that just for the last question. Now, question 1 says, where are your outliers? I probably should have told you what an outlier is, but I'm assuming that you can maybe figure it out. An outlier is something that is not in the box. So right there, those two, right there, they're off doing their own thing. The whole party is over here, the gang is over here, and then they're out there just hanging out outside of the data set. Those are my outliers. What it asked for you to do is to name them. So I go, okay, my X is at 8 and my Y is at 16. So I'm going to name it as a coordinate because that's what we do now. We're big kids. We use their names. So for question number 1 on yesterday's assignment, we say, here are 2 outliers, 8 and 16, and then the other one is at 7, 18. So there's question number 1 from yesterday's assignment. Now, let's look at the next question. Which statements describe the pattern of the data or the relationship between the variables after removing the outliers? Because the outliers could mess some things up. If I were to make a super big box that included those data points, it'd completely ruin my trend line. So that's why we need to say, okay, these 2, kick them out. Because sometimes you just have an off day or whatever you're measuring's just off occasionally. A good example would be my brother. My brother is super smart. He gets good grades. Every assignment, A. Horrible test taker. So then his grade book looks like A, C, D, because that's where his tests are. If you were to take those tests out of there, he'd be a straight A student. But when you put the test in, it changes his grades. It messes up the data. So if I were to say, ouch, after removing the data points, after kicking those 2 out, because, they don't count, I'd say it doesn't become less linear, because I was able to make a straight line. I'd say it becomes more linear, because I'm able to make a more straight line when those 2 are not in the party. And if I were to kick those 2 out, I can look at just the dots in the box. When I have them closer to the line, it's a stronger association. Whereas if I counted them, I'd have a weaker association. So for number 2, I'm circling, there's 2 correct answers. So for number 2, for yesterday's assignment, it becomes a stronger association, so B is correct. Because when I kick those 2 data points out, it means that I'm having more dots closer to the line. But also, it's C. It becomes more linear. Because if I kept those 2 in, my line would have to curve in some way in order to include them. Or it'd have to become a zigzag in order to include them. I don't want to include them, kick them out. They can't sit with us. All right, which statement describes the correlation? So, a strong correlation is like watching a straight line happen. Just dots all in a row. I want you to look at this and tell me, is it straight dots all in a row? No. Oh, no, she's not. All right, what direction is it going? To the right and down. So that is, to the right and down is negative, and we said that it's weak. There's an association, don't get me wrong, it's just not strong. So for part 3, we're going to say it has a weak negative association. D is my answer. Now, write a statement about the accuracy of each attempt for the student and what might occur if they made 9 or more attempts. So this is a 2-part question. We're going to have 2 sentences. Complete sentences. All right, let's see if we can do this, guys. Ciao. All right. as you make more attempts, look at your graph. I don't know if you can have it up and watch me at the same time. If you look at the graph, it's going down. Distance is right here. Distance from the bullseye goes down. So as I make more attempts, the distance between the arrow and the bullseye decreases. So the distance, oh Lord. Oh, I just straight up made an H. That's an N, guys, not an H. Between the arrow and bullseye decreases. So there we go. Sentence 1 done. Stay awake, iPad. Now I have to look and see after 9 attempts. So according to the trend line, we're doing this again. According to the trend line, your arrow would be about, oh, as I get further and further away, my handwriting gets worse and worse. So let's look at this trend line. Let's look at it. I had the courtesy to draw it for you. Let's look at it. When my attempts are at 9, my trend line is at 4. And it's in inches. Would be about, put this bad boy up here. Be about 4 inches from a bullseye. Ooh, I don't know where a D came from. Bullseye after 9 attempts. Not my best handwriting, but at least you heard me say it, right? And there we go. Do you guys have any questions besides that? Any questions on how to turn this in, how to edit a doc, or not a doc, edit a screenshot, anything like that? You can put that in the chat that's off to the side where I typed. If you have any questions other than that, I just want to make sure all your questions got answered because I'm only doing this once or twice a week. So I want to make sure any questions get answered. If you don't want to put it in the chat, you can email me. Always email me. I have my phone. It's on. The sound is on. I have nothing better to do, guys. We're quarantined. I have nothing better to do than answer your emails. So seriously, if you are confused on anything, put it in the chat right there and I can say it, or email me. Either way works. So, and it was a really nice day until, it's looking gloomy, but it's warm out. Get yourselves outside. Get some fresh air. Just because we're quarantined doesn't mean we can't go outside and enjoy the nice weather. I ran today and I didn't feel like I was dying. So seriously, go outside. It's nice, especially before all the rain hits us. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Don't do anything dumb like go to Walmart and then get all up in people's business. Stay 6 feet away from people. And just stay safe. Email me if you have any questions. But Miss Van Gogh is going away. She's going. She's leaving. Goodbye. Boop.